Okay, so look, let's talk about this. Bruno will take Bruno from the polls place in 99. Right. 58% of you want to call Bruno a legend, or Bruni, as I've called him. It's basically Bruno and Rooney. No, 58% of you think Bruno's a legend. I think 58% of you are prats. I don't think you understand what a legend of Manchester United is, and I don't think that's your fault. I blame the Glazers for that type of stuff. There is absolutely no way Bruno Fernandes is a legend of Manchester United. That is quite nauseatingly disgusting on a Monday morning to hear that 58% of you think Bruno Fernandes is a legend. I mean, absolutely, you really have been deprived, and I blame the Glazers. I don't actually think, I'm not surprised. I actually thought it would be like 60, 70% actually. But this is just what's happened to Manchester United, that people think Bruno Fernandes is a legend. I mean, just absolutely not. No. I mean, you're talking about people like Peter Schmeichel. You're talking about people like Vidic, Dennis Irwin, Patrice Evra, Roy Keane, Eric Cantona, David Beckham, Paul Scholes, Wayne Rooney, Cristiano Ronaldo. The list goes on. And you want to put Bruno Fernandes in that category? Is he a United great? Yes. Is he a legend? For what? Why is he a legend? Because he's got loads of assists. Oh, but if you put him... No, Brian Robson is a legend. Brian Robson was in a shit United side and was unbelievable. Bruno Fernandes is not a legend of Manchester United. And if we're going to start calling Bruno Fernandes a legend of Man United, then we've got a very, very big problem, and the Glazers will never leave. That is not a legend of Manchester United. But I think if you're of a certain age and you've been deprived of what legendary status actually is, this is what Man United have become. Bottom half of the table team with a player that's good enough to play for top teams standing out. Hello everybody, today's clip is supported by Sleeper. Before we dive in, let me tell you a bit more about Sleeper. This app is making serious waves. It was the #1 downloaded sports app in the US during the NFL season, even beating heavyweights such as ESPN and Yahoo. Sleeper isn't just popular, it's because they truly deliver the best fantasy experience. You get deeper customization, more league options, and all the bells and whistles that make managing your fantasy team a blast. But that's not all. Sleeper is growing a fantastic community with several million people using it daily for their sports fix. Sleeper has a broad appeal and is genuinely built for everyone. So, if you're looking to up your fantasy game, make sure to check out Sleeper by clicking the link in the video description. Trust me, you won't regret it. And listening to what Ricky said yesterday and saying, basically, look, I respect what Ricky said. Ricky's been very consistent about Rashford. He's been very consistent about other players, and ultimately he probably got proved right on those players. What he's said about Bruno Fernandes is that I respect the fact that he gets goals and assists, but for me, he's not as good as people think he is. And people are allowed to have that opinion, and people still will have that opinion. It's really not worth getting angry about it. When I think about Bruno Fernandes, as you'll know if you've been watching the channel since we bought him, I was obsessed about him at Sporting. I was like, this player is going to be transformative for Manchester United. And that summer we didn't buy him, people were like, oh, shut up, you're going on about Bruno, you've named a bloody boat after Bruno and it sank, shut up about Bruno Fernandes, he's not even that good, the Portuguese league, this, that and the other. And I was devastated we didn't get him that summer. And then when we went back for him in the January, I was like, this guy's going to cook. Well, I wouldn't say cook, I don't even say that now, but I said, this guy is the reason I was so obsessed about him in the summer. He's going to be brilliant at Man United. He's going to change Man United. And people are, oh, you're overhyping him. No. Came into the club for 18 months. Absolutely incredible. Brilliant player. And then we went through the whole player FC of Bruno versus Pogba and who won, Bruno. And we're at this situation now where he's been challenged again and he's responded. I thought his interview last night was spot on. Roy Keane's been critical of him and he basically respected Roy Keane and said, look, at the end of the day, everyone's entitled to their opinion, but it's my job to show them and show my worth. And he's playing really, really well at the moment. So I go back to what I said when we bought Bruno. I said he was going to be transformative for this football club, and I said he was worth the money, and I said we had to get him. And all those years later, is someone going to tell me I'm wrong? You know, that's the question I would have to Ricky is, has he been a great signing for Manchester United? Has he been our best signing post Sir Alex Ferguson? Yes. And that's the positive for Bruno. Bruno has been our best signing in a decade. Bruno has not been anywhere near a flop. Nobody ever mentions Bruno and 60 million and flop. Nobody. Never. I've never heard it. So he's been a success. People will talk about Sancho 75 million. They'll talk about Anthony 80 million. They'll even talk about Harry Maguire 80 million. And Harry Maguire's been an okay signing for us at times, but he's never been an 80 million pound player. Bruno Fernandes, no one ever mentions about the fee because he has been a rip-roaring success. He's been a brilliant signing for us in a horrible period. So my frustration with Bruno is that I think he can be better than what he is. But I look at the performance yesterday and I don't think he can do any better than that. And people will say it's only Leicester, but how many times have we seen De Bruyne or Mo Salah stat pad against Leicester? You know, there's nothing wrong with that. I don't even like the argument that it's only Leicester. You've still got to do it. It was only Leicester and Eriksen didn't play well. It was only Leicester and, you know, Dalot wasn't that good. So if it's only Leicester, why don't everybody else put in world-class performances? So I think Bruno's been brilliant the last 2 games. He's our most important player. He's massively frustrating at times. I completely agree. But what we learned this season in absolutely undisputable evidence is that sometimes Bruno's bad and you're like, why is he on the pitch? But then we see United without Bruno and you go, as bad as he is, we're worse when he's not on the pitch. He has to be on the pitch. So even when he's having a bad game, we know for a fact we'll be worse without him. So I think that he's where we are now as a football club. We can't do anything without Bruno Fernandes. He is intrinsically important to that team, and I would argue with anybody that, you know, he is our most important player. I would also acknowledge that there are conversations about performance. I think that this time last year he was bloody horrific from Christmas until the end of the season. And I think at times across this season he's had some bad games. Recently he's been very, very good. He's adjusting to a new position. 31 in September, I actually think if they can transition him into this midfield position and he can have some positional discipline, I'm not actually worried about his age. He's got an amazing ability to be fit, and he's never been a player that's massively reliant on pace. And I think when you play centre midfield, pace is not actually a massive ability trait that you need. So we could get 3-4 years more out of Bruno in that position. So I think he'll continue to be a good player. And but where I do side with Ricky is that there in no way, shape or form is he a legend of Manchester United yet. And in no way, shape or form is he anywhere near Brian Robson, who played in shit Man United sides as well. I mean, Man United didn't win a trophy between 1985 and 1990, and Brian Robson was our best player. Didn't win a trophy and still would be classed as better than Roy Keane. So I don't know whether that's an age thing, but we don't have legends at Man United at the moment, and nobody should be called a bloody legend. Why should player be a what about Man United makes you think that we've had a player that's legendary over the last 10 years? It's one of the worst periods of our history in relation to quality of football, and I don't see that. But I do think he's been a great signing. And I don't know why people get so irritated by it as well. Like, if you want to call him a legend or you want to think he'll start for the 99 side, that's absolutely fine. But with all my passion and opinion, I think you are completely and utterly wrong. So we're not going to agree, are we? That's fine. It's not going to stop me having a cup of coffee and a biscuit after this show with a smile on my face. I really don't care. But I won't be acknowledging that he's a legend of Man United because I think that's incredible. And can I just give you some other players that aren't legends of Manchester United as well? Ji-sung Park is not a legend of Manchester United. Darren Fletcher is not a legend of Manchester United. Robin van Persie is not a legend of Manchester United. But it just depends where you put the barrier of legend. There's probably people out there that think bloody Harry Maguire's a legend. Like, it's just where you draw the line. But I've seen so many. For me, he's not a legend. I would put him in the great status. I think he's been a great signing. I think he's been an absolute success. But not a legend for me, no. Could he be a legend? Yeah. If he plays till he's 35 and we win a Premier League title or a Champions League, I think he could be, yeah. But not at the moment. Goldbridge, that's the end of the clip. I'm sure you enjoyed it. In fact, I bet that's the best clip you've ever watched. So there's no reason not to subscribe to the channel, click the bell icon so you never miss a clip again. In fact, smash a like on the video because we all know only legends like videos and you are all legends. So please smash a like on the video and we will see you again on the next one. Thank you very much for watching as always.